I think most people would like to think that there are things out there that we don't understand, we don't know, we haven't seen. It keeps a bit of mystery in our world, and I think human beings need that.
It was once said that not every puzzle is meant to be solved. Some are in place to, well, test our limits, and others are, in fact, not puzzles at all. Nevertheless, we've spent centuries trying to answer some of life's most burning questions. How did the universe begin? Is there life after death? Does Bigfoot really exist?
I have been interested in Bigfoot since I was a young boy, and I remember watching my first TV show about the subject, and I was just completely enthralled.
Once Ken Gerhard got Bigfoot on the brain, he was hooked. While most of us grow up realizing the monsters lurking in our closets are nothing more than our imaginations, Ken sought to prove that they exist.
Here it is, Bob. The frozen tongue of a chupacabra.
Ew.
I bet I'm the only one in Texas with a frozen chupacabra tongue.
You may be the only person in the world with one of those.
Okay, Bigfoot. Now, you know, a great big, hairy, shaggy creature with big feet.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a little kid, that's easy to believe.
Sure.
You're a grown man now. What do you think? Is there such?
Yes, granted. It is a completely remarkable notion that we share this continent with a giant, hairy, man-like creature that lives out in the wilderness. But surprisingly, there is a lot of evidence.
Oh, there he goes.
What I believe is that it's a very rare, very elusive, and highly intelligent creature that lives in very remote areas. And they may be borderline endangered or critically endangered, on the verge of extinction for all we know. These are vocalizations or sounds that I recorded in North Texas. We camped right there in that location.
After hearing that?
Absolutely.
Bigfoot's not the only creature Ken's got his sights set on. He travels from his hometown of San Antonio all over the world, searching for proof of some of our most notorious monsters, from Nessie to the chupacabra to a large bird the size of a small airplane. Ken visits hotspots, areas where these peculiar creature sightings are at their highest.
This is a map where I've basically marked the locations of different sightings of mystery creatures or cryptids. The red tacks indicate Bigfoot sightings. Black is the big bird. You've got a lot of sightings down here in the Rio Grande Valley. And then I have some oddball ones here too. So by looking at the
Well, of course, we had to see what a hotspot looked like for ourselves. And little did we know, some South Texas residents have shared their own cryptic creature confessions. So we packed up and followed Ken to the latest sighting of a San Antonio big bird.
I recently was contacted by a young gentleman who claims that he and his friends saw this giant bird. He said it was 5 feet tall, had a 15-foot wingspan, and it took off just on the south end of this park down here.
So what do we look for?
So we might be looking for tracks or footprints, scratch marks, you know, maybe a feather, so something tangible that we can take back and use as evidence.
Or ultimately, a great big bird.
Hey, that would be great.
Let's look.
I'd be okay with that.
All right.
All right, watch your step.
Well, while we didn't find anything that'll go down in the history books, for some reason, we couldn't quite shake that feeling that we were being watched.
So Ken, when you're out doing these things, wandering around in the woods like this, do you ever get the feeling that you're being watched?
Yeah, actually, I do get that feeling sometimes, you know. Part of it is the ambient noise. Usually when you're out in the woods, you notice you hear the insects and the amphibians and everything's chirping and birds. Sometimes it gets strangely quiet.
That kind of creepy?
It's kind of creepy when everything is really quiet in the woods and you're all by yourself, yeah.
Can we go back now?
I think it's a good idea. Why do you think so many people are drawn to things like this? What is it about these kinds of tales?
Well, I think people like to have a little bit of mystery and intrigue in our lives. You know, it's part of human nature that we want to have that mystery, that kind of veil of, you know, shadowy whatever, scariness or whatever behind us. You know, we still have an extension of that here in the modern era.
It's no great secret that life loses some of its magic as you leave childhood behind. As we grow older, we become a little more realistic, more accustomed to the limitations of the world. But growing up hasn't stopped Ken Gerhard from searching for monsters. In fact, it's only made him want to find them more.
Well, I have a vast bucket list of places that I want to go, of things that I want to investigate and check out. I want to trudge through the jungles and the swamps and some of those vast wilderness areas and see if there could be something out there that we haven't discovered yet. I'm going to stick with it. This is my life and this is what I do.